Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. There seems to be a bit of a falling out amongst the nationalists. We reported yesterday how the SNP will not be going forward with the Greens in a coalition after the next Holyrood election. And we saw how the Greens themselves have said they want to start distancing themselves from the SNP. And that's presumably because they want to go into coalition with Labour. And so they're kind of dropping the this whole soft approach to independence. Well, now Alba have picked up on that drop of independence, and they're picking up their sort of the Green switching to red, becoming Labour supporters, basically. Oh, look, we've always loved you all along, say the Greens, knowing that Labour are likely to form the next government. And so they want to go, oh, yes. We like our position of power. We want to keep our very well-paid jobs. We want to keep our arses in the big seats. And Alba have really and rightly taken them to task on it. And so we've got Chris McElhenney, who's done a piece now we're going to have a look at, where he's basically saying that the Greens are no longer a force for independence, and the Green supporters who voted them because they wanted to vote for independence but didn't feel they could vote for the SNP really have only one option. And he's going to suggest that perhaps maybe it should be Alba that get the votes. Not unexpected, bit of politicking, but let's have a look, see what he's saying and see if he's right. He does have a point though. Here goes. So Scottish Greens are branded weak as a bunch of pansies after independence slogan is dropped. Alba General Secretary Chris McElhenney says the Greens have chosen to ditch Skexit ahead of this year's general election as Lorna Slater and Patrick Harvey position themselves for a deal with Scottish Labour. And I think he's right. But the description he uses, a bunch of pansies, well, one only has to look at the likes of Gross Rhea or the Deviant Imp to see how accurate that is. Pansies one and all. Alba Party General Secretary Chris McElhenney has launched an astonishing attack on his fellow Skexiteers in the Scottish Greens, saying they are as weak as a bunch of pansies when it comes to Scottish independence. Now, I don't actually think they're particularly Skexity at the moment. I think they're opportunistic chancers. They realise that the SNP are probably going to get their arses handed to them in the next Holyrood elections as well. And so they want to ensure that they can continue in government and look important. And so they want to cosy up to Labour, thinking that Labour are probably going to win. But I think Labour will not take on the Greens. I think the people in Labour see the Greens, and especially the likes of Anna Sawar and Jackie Bailey. They think that the Greens are toxic. They are vote losers. They are not the sort of people they want to be associating with. I actually feel that they'd probably go into partnership with the Lib Dems before they went in with the Greens, and maybe if they needed to, just to keep the SNP out of government, have some kind of non-official agreement with the Tories, on a little supply and demand base kind of thing. Give us this one, give us that one, we'll give you a couple of yours, that sort of thing. Nothing formal, but if we can keep the SNP out, everybody wins. That kind of thing. And it wouldn't surprise me. Anyway, it came after the Greens held their party conference in Edinburgh, and I did the thing on that, and you saw there was about 90% of the seats in that hall were empty. Literally, it was really bad. And they ditched the campaign slogan from last year, which said independence for people, for planet, for losers. Alba, led by former SNP leader and First Minister Alex Salmond, a man who is very, very soon going to become a lot richer, has accused the Green Party co-leaders Patrick Harvey and Lorna Slater of using their lukewarm support for Skexit as a badge of convenience to creep into government as part of the coalition deal with the Nats. Oh, they are creeps and all. They're all very creepy people, especially Maggot Chapman. There's a woman who should be kept well away from any kind of responsibility and power. McElhenney warned Skexiteers that a vote for the Green Party is not a vote for Scottish independence, adding the Greens are as weak as a bunch of pansies when it comes to Scottish independence. We already knew that for the Greens, independence wasn't a red line, And if the price of Patrick Harvey and Lorna Slater to cling on to power after the next Scottish Parliament election was to make Anna Sarwar First Minister, they would sell out the independence movement. They'd sell their own grannies to get their arse in their £100,000 a year jobs. Where else is Lorna Slater going to earn that money? No one would employ her. She's got a history of fail, and she is absolutely mental bonkers. She'd go for a job. She wouldn't get a job at McDonald's, would she? Anyway, it's no surprise then that they've already chosen to ditch independence ahead of this year's general election, as they are simply positioning themselves to help Labour back into power at Holyrood in 2026. As I say, opportunistic chances one and all. He added that the Alba party will begin to announce its candidates in the general election in the coming weeks, having previously promised to make significant intervention in the Westminster poll. However, under the first past the post system, Alba is almost certain to lose both of its 2 MPs and not gain any. It might get a few votes. It might help pull votes away from the SNP, which is not a bad thing. And it may allow a few more seats to go sort of Labour's way or even possibly Tory way. Anything that gets rid of an SNP seat is a win. So we've really got to encourage people to vote for Alba. Anyway, according to the Scottish Green conference schedule, there were no events focused specifically on Scottish independence because they don't want to highlight that anymore. They want to be Labour-y. They want to be sort of thing that Labour can look at them and go, oh yes, the Greens are very popular. Oh yes, the Greens are very... Labour have already made their mind up and they're going, no. For God's sake, no. We are not touching those toxic morons. And what's worse, any party that's got the likes of Maggot Chapman or the Deviant Imp in just needs to be avoided like the plague. Anyway, delegates debated such issues as how to stop Scotland's new gas-fired power plant, land reform, taxation and power, levers for reshaping Scotland's land, because they've got this bee in their bonnet that apparently gas-fired power stations are bad. Don't know why. And they've got this thing that people owning land is bad. Of course, in Harvey's case, people owning their own homes is bad. He doesn't like that, does he? Anyway, we'll round off there. We'll come up and we'll just laugh at these 2 minor parties having a little fisticuffs, thinking, no, we're better than you. No, we're better than you. No, you're shitty. Because they both asked for the same weird people to vote for them. And there's only so many weird people, aren't there? It's a shame they keep getting voted into office. Coming up. You've got these 2 parties, the Greens and Alba. On the left, you've got the Greens. Well, it's the extreme left. You've got the Greens. They're just filled with all the weird people. So where do the weird people go? They go to the Greens. And where do the losers go? They go to Alba. There's not much between them, though. They're both bonkers. They're both mad. They're both losers. None of them are going to succeed without other people. And yet somehow, amazingly, they still get votes. It makes you wonder how many people out there in Scotland lack even basic education that they think either of these parties is going to do anything. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video, and I will speak to you later. Bye.